United's first goal was a beauty, but it actually comes from a bit of play that was just as beautiful, which didn't result in a goal. So we pick it up in this position, where Leacher has the ball, and have a look at Rasmus's movement. With the attention of this player drawn towards the ball, and this player, Norgard, drawn towards Bruno, Rasmus is going to drop into this space to receive the ball. He'd been doing this all game superbly, dropping in from the striker position to link up the play. So of course, Lissandro is going to find him, and when he receives the ball, he's got two United players in very close proximity. This is Casemiro. He'd been playing as the second attacking midfielder, if you will, for a lot of the game. Obviously, we'd normally expect him to be here, but he's joined the attack. And Eriksen is acting as the deep-lying playmaker. There's also Bruno here, who's occupying this defender. And Rashford's positioning is very important too. Much more on the right-hand side this game. Probably 90% of the game he was on the right. Normally we'd see him in this position, kind of away from the action, but as you can see, he's right in the thick of it here. So as Rasmus turns, this player's attention is drawn towards Casemiro. Aya is not close enough to Marcus Rashford, and Marcus is able to drop into a little bit of space here. And they play a very nice 1-2, and Rasmus is in. As he gets in the box, he feints to shoot, and he actually sells Pinnock there. Pinnock goes to ground, and there's a little bit of space here where Rasmus could have put the ball and struck. But in the moment, he decides to try to go back over to the right-hand side, and Pinnock's legs are just long enough to get in the way of the ball, and he kicks it clear. So De Ligt picks up the second ball. He finds Dallo on the wing in a lot of space. And Dallo's positioning throughout this game was very key in United's success in going forward, providing an overlapping option for Marcus, which allowed him to play a lot more in this inside half space there. So Dallo receives it. Marcus is trying to get into this space to ask for the ball. Dallo decides to not give Rashford the ball, but gives it all the way to Eriksen there in space. As Eriksen picks up the ball, that of course draws this defender, and Marcus is in a lot of space now. Aya, the centre-back, was marking him throughout this whole play, but because he's a centre-back, he's reluctant to come out here into the sort of half-space midfield zone to get near Rashford. Again, Aya is reluctant to come out, and Marcus has so much time to play the ball from this, what I call the De Bruyne position. Because every time you watch City, you see 3 or 4 balls from De Bruyne going from here directly to the back post, and it's exactly what Marcus does. As the ball gets played in, Casemiro, who's not playing defensive midfielder at all, he's playing attacking midfielder, makes this run towards the center of the box, which draws the attention of this defender, leaving Garnacho free at the far post. The ball is a beautiful one, lands right on top of Garnacho's foot, and he smashes it towards the goal. What a fantastic ball, fantastic finish, great goal all around. You can see, as the ball gets played in, it lands on Garnacho's foot. The keeper is scrambling across, but the shot is so powerful and true that it's past him before he even knows it. United's second goal came from something that we probably haven't done well at all since the first few games of the season, and that's pressing effectively as a group. I talked about in the Aston Villa video how we gave up on pressing altogether and decided to remain compact, and it worked out okay in that game, but we were much more aggressive and more importantly together in the press in this match. So as Rasmus goes to press the ball, you can see Garnacho is marking the right back, Bruno is on Norgard, Christian Eriksen is keeping an eye on Jan, and Marcus Rashford is splitting the difference between the keeper and Ethan Pinnock. As the ball gets played out to Vandenberg, you can see Casemiro is all up on Damsgaard there, joining in this man-to-man type of press. Vandenberg plays the ball into Norgard there, who, if Casemiro wasn't on Damsgaard, might have had this around the corner pass, but that's not on. As Norgard receives the ball, Bruno is on him. This pass isn't on because Casemiro's on Damsgaard. He doesn't have the eyes on the back of his head to find Jan, so the only option for Norgard in this moment is to play it back to Nathan Collins. Nathan Collins receives the ball, Rasmus is closing him down, so all he can do is boot it long and try to find a Brentford player. But it only falls to Sandro Martinez, who stepped forward from marking Mbeumo there. He's going to lay the ball off to Eriksen. As Eriksen receives the ball, Norgard, who was here just a moment ago, has pushed up, trying to get on the second ball, but it leaves him woefully out of position, and that leaves Jan out to have to deal with both Bruno and Marcus Rashford, who are in between the lines. Jan decides to go for Rashford, which leaves Bruno in a lot of space as Collins isn't tight enough to him, and Eriksen, of course, is able to find this ball, and what happens next is just magic. As the ball gets to Bruno, he does a little flick, eyes on the back of his head, to Rasmus Højlund running forward. Rasmus gets it in a lot of space, chips it, dinks it very lovely over the keeper, and into the back of the net. We know that Bruno's form has been really bad recently, if we're being honest, but they say class is permanent, and this is exactly why. So the ball's being played to Eriksen here, and look at Bruno's head movement. The thing that separates good players from the great players is their awareness, and the only way you can get that is by scanning constantly. So before the ball even gets to Eriksen, Bruno is going to scan for what's around him. Have a look. Takes a glance at Marcus Rashford, and takes that tailing glance towards Rasmus. And not only that, he knows that Nathan Collins has to close him down because he's in space, which will leave the space that Nathan Collins was in for Rasmus to run into. And of course, when he receives it, he's going to play this flick, and he even tricks the cameraman. The camera's panning this way, and quickly has to adjust. Rasmus has got the inside positioning on Vandenberg, and from then it's one-on-one, and we know what happens next. Goal for United, and we take the lead. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please consider subscribing and leave a like. Cheers!